Sync. Welcome back to Twins Reviews, guys. My name is Zmax, and I have Nax on the other end here to teach you guys all the tips and tricks and strategies that you should be utilizing when goalkeeping in Roller Champions. If you want some free cosmetics in Roller Champions, feel free to go down into the description and use either my or Nax's referral code link, so that way you can get some free cosmetics for yourself. Now let's talk about goalkeeping. Goalkeeping is really crucial in Roller Champions, especially at higher level gameplay, because you're going to need to be saving a lot more shots as teams are going to be way better in offense. This means that you have to nail down your goalkeeping skills, that way you can try to predict as many shots as possible. So let's talk about some tips that are going to help you goalkeep in Roller Champions. Firstly, we did talk about this in the tips and tricks video, but you do need to learn how to stall on the wall. This is done by uppercutting and tackling, and giving yourself a little bit of space. That way your uppercut stamina just gets a little bit regenerated so you can stay on the wall for longer. This is going to be the best way to stand in front of the goal to prevent any shots coming in.
Right, so with tackling and uppercutting in front of the goal, what you're really doing is stalling the game out, and you're actually giving your teammates a chance to get back and try to land those tackles while you're in front of the goal. Now, this is great because it also adds an element of uncertainty to the whole entire play, so the opponent really doesn't know if they could commit to the throw or not. So they might try to go for another lap, or they might get confused and throw it at you. There's a lot that can happen there, and you might save that point.
I see a lot of new players just trying to uppercut once and not staying on the wall, so it's just basically like a long jump that they do. And while that can be viable, realistically you don't want to be reacting as the shot is thrown, because at close distances that's just not going to be viable. What you should want to do instead is uppercutting, then tackling, uppercutting and tackling on the wall right in front of the goal. That way you make the offensive player have to wait until you either come down off of the wall or a pass opens up. This is probably the most important thing when you're goalkeeping. What you're gonna want to do is stall out so that your teammates can catch up to the ball carrier and make the tackle. Relying on an interception is going to be not very consistent. So the best thing to keep in mind is you're really goalkeeping just to stall out for your teammates to catch up with the ball carrier. The best time to start uppercutting and stalling on the wall is right when the goal opens. This is usually because some shots can come in much earlier than you think, and some shots can come in much later than you think. So the best way is to just stay up on the wall right as the goal gets opened.
So for me personally, I find that it's really useful to start uppercutting when the goal just got opened, because that's the perfect time that the opponent is going to look at your player and see that you're going down, and they're going to want to toss the ball. And when they do that, you just go up again and you snatch it right out of the air. Now, not every single player is going to do this, and some high-level players in 3 stacks are probably not going to commit to that toss, which is actually the correct counterplay to this, but a lot of teams will just toss it to you. Like, you may think that the uppercutting in front of the goal doesn't work as often, but you'd be surprised at how successful it can be.
And with very little practice, you should be getting at least maybe 3 uppercuts in front of the goal before you come down, but with a little bit more practice, you can get it even more consistent, and you can maybe do even 5 uppercuts in front of the goal. So as you practice, you'll be able to get better and better at intercepting the ball and staying in front of the goal. Now in Roller Champions, you can actually score the ball from either the front or the back of the goal. So something to watch out for is offensive player charging their shot and then dodging out of that animation and going around the goal. As a goalkeeper, you should be able to transfer through the goal. That way you can meet the opposition on the other side of the goal to make the interception. The best way to transfer through the goal is to tackling or roundhouse kicking. This is using the X button on Xbox or jumping and then hitting X to do the roundhouse kick. And remember, you can always keep uppercutting after you tackle. So realistically, what you can do is you can stall in front of the front portion of the goal, and then you can tackle through the goal and then stall on the back side of the goal. That is going to be much more advanced, but something that you should consider practicing, because a lot of the more advanced lobbies are going to be trying to fake you out in front of the goal and try to go around and shoot it in the back.
As he said, this is more of an advanced maneuver, but if you can nail it, then you'll be really, really good at it, and you'll have an asset for your team that not many players can do. Not many players are actually good at goalkeeping or can do it consistently enough as to where that player can be relied on to do it. So if you can transfer through the goal like that, you could also do it once or you could do it twice. But if you can learn how to do it at least one time, and if you time it correctly, it will succeed a lot more than you think, and it is very useful in game.
Another thing to know is be as close to the goal as possible, but be mindful, the goal can actually ruin your uppercut animation if you uppercut right into it and pretty much you're just left stranded. So you can use the brake button to help you position yourself right in front of the goal and then start uppercutting to get on the wall and just stalling there. Some of the advanced players are going to try to tackle you off of the goalkeeping. This is probably the best alternative to goalkeeping, as you just pretty much down the goalkeeper and the goal just becomes wide open for an easy shot. So it might be a good idea to maybe tackle the opposition first and then go for some saves. So always be aware of who's around you and what opposition is trying to tackle you in front of the goal. If you find yourself in the position where you do end up stalling the players and they don't actually shoot and they decide to go for a 3-lap, the quickest way to go about things is going clockwise and to meet the opposition at the 3-4 bowl. That way you can make an easy rotation and reset up to counter the 2-lap play. If you want a little bit more insight on this, you can go ahead and visit the rotation video that I made yesterday. Another thing to keep in mind is mind games. When you're the offensive player, you really want to pretty much bait out the keeper. So as a goalkeeper, you really need to keep that in mind. So sometimes you can actually stall out your uppercut and pretend that maybe you've been tackled or you just aren't uppercutting. This might invite the ball carrier to toss it, and you can try to react or maybe start uppercutting just a little bit before that to try to get the interception. Hydration check. And that's going to be it for this Goalkeeping 101 crash course. As a recap, the most important thing you're going to want to learn is just performing those wall stalls by doing an uppercut, tackling, uppercut, and tackling. That's going to make your life as a goalkeeper just so much easier. And then just start to incorporate some mind games into that, maybe stalling out, maybe going a little bit earlier, and really just be creative with it. Goalkeeping is something that you should be doing to stall for your other teammates that are going to get in the tackles, so also keep that in mind. If you're performing a great stalling technique, then your teammates should be able to get in there and take out the ball carrier with some tackles. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. The support has been unreal. If you can leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, that would be awesome. And with that being said, I'm gonna go and make more Roller Champions videos. Bye.